Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Just a short video about Shatner being back in Star Trek, or suggestions he could. I don't know if I made a video about this, so I'm just going to make this little video anyway, because there's been a slight sort of, not update, but a little bit of insight into it. So apparently Shatner was contacted while he was leaving for a convention, and they said that after the convention they would talk about it, and there's apparently serious talk about bringing him back to Star Trek. Now, how they can do that at 93, how he can play a convincing Kirk. I mean, yes, they could de-age him drastically. I guess they could do that. There could be something they could do. A lot of people talked about unification and all that, but they were using an actor the same age, around the same age as Shatner when he did Generations, and they made him look like him, but they didn't have to de-age and debulk him and all the things they'd have to do. So, but they could use a body double and just use him for the faces, I guess. That's what I thought they did. I thought the actor Sam, whatever his name is, was just the stand-in basically, and the body double, and Shatner did the face, but he didn't. So, yeah, so apparently Kurtzman and that have been given a last chance. They've basically been told, you've got until Christmas to give us a plan and some ideas for Star Trek shows going forward to save the show basically and put it back on track. And one of the things that they were doing, they were talking about doing Legacy without the Legacy, basically getting the actors back but letting Terry Matalas go and letting Kurtzman do it, because they think somehow they don't get that Terry Matalas was the difference, and Kurtzman will just make it more Kurtzman Trek but with the same actors he had in Picard season 1 and 2. So, but either way, they said not without our Terry, so that's not going to happen, so it's not an issue. But one of the other things they're throwing at the wall was a Shatner series. So apparently that's why Shatner was contacted, because Paramount, CBS, I'm just going through company names now, Skydance has basically put pressure on them to find new Star Trek shows and to give them the plan going forward. And one idea, because they're being desperate, is like, let's get back the original cast. Who's left? Oh shit, just Shatner. I mean, George Takei's there as well, but he's got it. They could do an Admiral Sulu series, because he'd be Admiral by now, but he wouldn't be on the Excelsior anymore, so I don't know what he'd do there. Same with Kirk, like he's an Admiral as well. It's not like they can go back onto the ships and do it unless they really, really de-age them. But either way, they're just clinging at straws. Like, just find all the Star Trek actors that remain that the fans still love, throw them in shows and hope that'll save us. That seems to be what they're doing. So I don't put much weight in this whole Shatner idea. I doubt they've even got a concept. They're just saying to him, if we pay you lots of money, will you come so we can tell Paramount, we've got Shatner, he'll do a series, just let us stay. That's what I feel like is happening, but I don't know. I just want this to end. God. When I first heard they were doing a new Star Trek series and it was going to be for streaming, so there'd be no network, so they'd be just as free to make the show as they were in syndication with the original Star Trek, I was so excited. And then we saw pictures of the ship and it was awful. And then we saw behind the scenes shot of Klingons, and they lied to us and said, no, these are ancient Klingons that have been separated for generations, and that's why they look different. The religious cult that's been separate from, for literally generations and hundreds of years. And none of that was true. And then they said, no, it's canon, it's the original universe and everything, it's going to be a continuation, we're just going back in time doing a prequel, and then totally different universe, different world, different time zone, different everything, different timeline, different everything. So, and then they just started this whole horrible, hideous mess. The show was trash. The bigots and the toxic fans were able to legitimately trash the show without actually saying what they really hated about it, and it just became a giant dumpster fire. It's just been rolling on and on and on and on and on. And we thought when they put the network and the studio and everything, when they joined it all back together, that would fix the problem, but it didn't end any of the individual contracts, so everything kept plugging along. They just didn't have to worry about suing each other. And then there was talk of selling the studio, and Warner Brothers was going to buy it, or other networks were going to buy it, and they were going to set up a separate Star Trek studio and save Star Trek from Kurtzman. And then they all fell out, and it ended up just being Skydance, who was already in bed with Kurtzman and that when they did the films. But then the rumour was that they weren't happy with him, and then it was like they're out either way. And now it's like, well, they've got a last-ditch chance. They've got till Christmas to give us some examples of how they're going to make great Star Trek shows and save Star Trek. And can I get off? I want to throw up. So yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this roller coaster Star Trek's been on. I know I just used that analogy with the last video as well, but I really do. Just, this is too much. All we want is utopian woke Star Trek, action, adventure, science fiction, intelligent, bright, but set in a utopian future where everything is good and better and all the problems are coming from outside, not from inside. No war, no religion, all the things that were resolved as we moved into the future. That's all we want, what we had. We just want that back. We haven't had it for a long time. But they can change it tomorrow. One script can change the whole franchise and turn it all around. We just need someone to pay someone with the talent to write it.